Picture this. You're in a forest at dawn. The trees stand still, but you can feel life pulsing through them. A breeze stirs the leaves. A bird sings without planning to. Everything is perfectly still, yet completely alive. There's no rushing, no effort, and yet everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Now contrast that with our modern lives. Calendars packed, plans structured, productivity tracked by the minute. Every action is strategized, every moment filled. And yet, are we more alive? More connected? Or have we lost touch with the quiet rhythm of life? In Taoist philosophy, stillness is not the absence of movement, and spontaneity is not chaos. Together, they create a way of living that is natural, wise, and deeply fulfilling. Today on The Unfolding Journey, we explore the role of stillness and spontaneity in Taoist philosophy, and how it can transform the way we live, think, and act. Welcome to The Unfolding Journey, a space for seekers, wanderers, and quiet thinkers. If you're here to find insight from ancient wisdom, grounded reflection, and mindful living, you're in the right place. Let's step into a space where the noise fades, and the Tao begins to speak. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes, "Returning to the source is stillness. Stillness is the way of nature." Tao Te Ching. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about rooting into the present, returning to our original nature, unclouded by distraction or desire. In Taoism, stillness is clarity. It is the foundation from which wise action arises. This is not the enforced stillness of sitting in traffic or waiting in line. This is inner stillness, the kind that comes when the mind is quiet, when the ego loosens its grip, and when we are simply here. It is from this stillness that true spontaneity can emerge. In Taoist texts, spontaneity is often described using the word Ziran, which translates to self-so, or so of itself. It's the quality of being natural, arising without force, like a flower blooming or water flowing downhill. Ziran doesn't mean random or reckless. It means free from contrivance. It means responding to the moment with honesty, not with calculation. Zhuangzi, the Taoist sage who came after Lao Tzu, tells story after story of people who act with perfect ease. Not because they plan everything, but because they've trained themselves to respond spontaneously and intuitively. One famous tale describes a butcher carving an ox. He moves with such grace and precision that his blade never dulls. Why? Because he doesn't try. He lets his body respond to the empty spaces between the joints. He's not thinking. He's flowing. His spirit goes along with things, and he doesn't look with his eyes. Zhuangzi. This is spontaneity in action, arising not from willpower, but from deep alignment with the flow of life. At first glance, stillness and spontaneity may seem contradictory. One is quiet, the other is active. One implies stopping, the other suggests movement. But in Taoism, these are not opposing forces, they are complementary. In fact, one gives birth to the other. Stillness is the source of spontaneity. When the mind is quiet, we are free to respond with freshness. When we are not tangled in past regrets or future anxieties, we can act with clarity. This is the heart of Taoist practice, not forcing action, but allowing it to arise from stillness. We live in a world that glorifies busyness. Productivity is praised. Efficiency is rewarded. We plan our spontaneity weeks in advance. But Taoism invites a different rhythm, one where action arises from rest and speech arises from silence. The sage does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. Tao Te Ching, Chapter 2. This doesn't mean laziness. It means trusting that when you are in tune with the moment, the right action will arise naturally. And often the wisest thing to do is nothing at all, just to wait, observe, and listen. Stillness gives us the clarity to act without reaction. Spontaneity gives us the freedom to act without overthinking. Together, they bring us into harmony with the Tao. Another central Taoist concept is Wu Wei, often translated as non-action or effortless action. Wu Wei is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way, without strain or ego. Stillness gives birth to Wu Wei. It empties us of personal agenda, allowing our actions to align with the greater rhythm of the Tao. A person practicing Wu Wei moves like water, flowing around obstacles, shaping to circumstances, powerful without aggression. This is true spontaneity, not random, but deeply responsive. To understand stillness and spontaneity, we need only look to nature. The tree does not force its growth. The river does not plan its path. The bird does not rehearse its song. Yet everything unfolds in perfect timing. Nature does not rush, and yet nothing is left undone. Taoists draw their philosophy from these patterns. In stillness, the tree takes root. In spontaneity, the bird takes flight. We too are part of this dance, but we often forget. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lao Tzu, you don't need to become a hermit to embody these principles. Taoist wisdom is deeply practical and incredibly relevant to modern life. Here are a few practices you can explore. Cyclone 1. Sit in stillness daily. Just 10 minutes a day of silent sitting can quiet the noise and return you to center. No goal, no technique, just being. Water wave 2. Observe nature without judgment. Go outside and watch something natural, a tree, a bird, a river. Let it teach you something about timing, effortlessness, or flow. 3. Let go of overplanning. Try leaving space in your day, room for the unexpected. See what arises when you stop trying to control every outcome. 4. Practice responding, not reacting. Next time you're triggered, pause. Breathe. Let your response come from stillness, not reflex. 5. Create without a plan. Draw, dance, write, or move without a script. Let your hands or body guide you. Don't think, just feel. This is spontaneous expression born from stillness, from trust in the moment. You may be surprised at what arises when you step aside and allow something deeper to move through you. In Taoist philosophy, the most powerful lives are not necessarily the loudest or the most visible. They are the most aligned, with the Tao, with nature, with simplicity. A still person is not passive. A spontaneous person is not erratic. They are in touch with the natural unfolding of things. They know when to act and when to wait. They speak when it is time and stay silent when silence speaks more truthfully. This is the Taoist ideal, not a person who imposes their will on the world, but one who moves with the world. Zhuangzi, one of the great mystics of Taoism, shares a story about a man named Cook Ding, whose knife never dulled even after cutting thousands of oxen. When asked his secret, he replies, "I let my mind fall into the rhythm of the Tao. I follow the natural patterns, not forcing anything. I go along with what is. That is how I've lasted so long." This is Taoism in action. Movement guided by awareness, not effort. Decisions born of stillness, not stress. Stillness allows you to see. Spontaneity allows you to move. Together, they allow you to flow, with grace, precision, and peace. It's important to note, stillness does not mean withdrawal from life. It does not mean inaction in the face of injustice or apathy towards suffering. In Taoism, true stillness is clarity. It allows for wise, timely, and effective action. It helps you move from what is real, rather than reacting blindly from ego or fear. Likewise, spontaneity does not mean acting without ethics. In fact, when spontaneous action arises from stillness, it is often more compassionate, more honest, and more appropriate than any overthought plan. It's not about escaping the world, but about engaging with it from a place of deep inner balance. The interplay of stillness and spontaneity is yet another expression of yin and yang, the Taoist symbol of complementary opposites in dynamic balance. Stillness is yin, receptive, inward, quiet, deep. Spontaneity is yang, expressive, outward, active, responsive. But one gives rise to the other. Without stillness, action becomes chaotic. Without action, stillness becomes stagnation. Together, they form the rhythm of the universe and of a Taoist life. Knowing the constant is insight. Not knowing leads to disaster. Tao Te Ching, Chapter 55. To know this rhythm, to feel it in your body, in your breath, in your choices, is to move through life with grace. Many of us have been taught that if we don't plan, if we don't push, if we don't constantly do more, we'll fall behind. We'll lose control. We'll fail. But what if we let go of that belief, even just for a moment? What if we trusted that there is wisdom not only in doing, but in pausing? That sometimes the best course of action is to wait, to listen, to allow? In my own life, the most transformative moments didn't come from ambition. They came from alignment, moments where I was fully present, fully myself, and allowed something greater to move through me. That's the power of stillness. That's the freedom of spontaneity. Lao Tzu tells us, the best people are like water. They benefit all things, yet compete with none. They settle in low places that others disdain. They flow with the Tao. Tao Te Ching, Chapter 8. To live like water is to embody both stillness and movement, both patience and spontaneity. It's to respond to life's moments as they come, not from stress, but from presence. This is the Taoist path, not one of rigid systems, not one of striving, but one of returning again and again to the quiet wisdom already inside you. Let stillness be your foundation. Let spontaneity be your dance. If this reflection on stillness and spontaneity touched something in you, a curiosity, a calm, a desire to live more in flow, I invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to The Unfolding Journey for weekly insights from ancient wisdom traditions, Taoist philosophy, and mindful living. Like this video if it resonated. Share it with a friend who could use more calm and clarity. And tap the bell icon to stay connected to this evolving path. May you move gently, speak truthfully, and let each moment unfold naturally.